Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, your girl, the one and only Tiffany E, aka Sexan TV2, and I am here to give you guys all of the tea when it comes to wrestling and maybe a little bit of odds and ends in between there. So why don't you go ahead, go get your snacks, go get your juice, go get you a good drink, a good glass of wine if you can drink it. If you're underage, don't be drinking, okay? Go on and get you some juice or something and sit back and listen as we kiki and holler about wrestling. Because over here, you get a plethora of things when it comes to my show, okay? You get wrestling commentary.
No benefit of the doubt. Dr. Phil say don't do that. Dr. Phil say when somebody show you who they are, and so did Maya Angelou, believe them. Them two hoes are snakes. They been snakes, and them hoes was like that when you got there, and they like that now, so fuck them both. And they did the right thing by letting them headline WrestleMania. They most definitely deserve to headline WrestleMania. And that is how you close a Mania.
What else will you get? You'll also get a weekly recap of every single show that WWE has to offer. Monday Night Raw after show, NXT after show, and of course a Friday Night SmackDown after show. You'll also get a recap of all the Big 5 PLEs. I even do the Saudi shows for you. And then, if it's good and worth the time, I may even throw a little AEW in there. But of course, I will do my best to make sure I recap as many PLEs as possible. If I don't have it, then I'll throw it to one of my friends who do know it. We also cover pop culture, and we have really good time over here with lifestyle and just giving advice. So, if you're ready, it's showtime. And that is on the Ancestors, baby.
All right. Welcome back to the show. So I felt better today, so I decided to go live and talk about Monday Night Raw. I did watch it. I didn't get to do commentary because that would have been too much. So I stuck to just go ahead and we're gonna do regular old TV show today. Okay? We're gonna do a little round robin with Monday Night Raw, and we're gonna talk about everything that happened on the show. It's a pretty quiet Monday Night Raw. They were in my hometown. They were in Cleveland, Ohio today. And we got to see the hometown boys, Gargano and Miz. They teamed together to go up against Imperium today. We got to see quite a few things, but there were some little tidbits that we also got to watch. So it's a pretty cool show. And of course, the big thing, or one of the big things that we got to watch today, was CM Punk make his decision as to what brand he was going to attach himself to. And if you didn't already know where he was going, then you haven't really been paying attention, have you? So, first things first, let's get some things out the way, okay? First thing I want you guys to do, if you don't mind, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Okay, subscribe. Make sure you give me a thumbs up on the video, share the video, comment in the comment section if you're watching this in the playback. It really helps the channel and it helps other people see my channel. I'm still sick, so I'm still going to be coughing or possibly clearing my throat. I'm just giving you guys a heads up. For those of you who are wearing headphones, you might want to just turn it down in case I have to cough. You don't want to hear that, excuse me, in your headset. All right. Also, I do have merch. There is merch available for my page specifically. It is all available at fourthwall.com. I've got really cute what do they call them? Ugly Christmas sweater shirts, the glitter thought ones. I have really cute ones. I don't know why, but I did get those. I did make those. There's a bunch of them. You can get them now while they're still up. Don't worry, I'm gonna have that design available again next year, so you'll be able to get it. There's t-shirts, there's mugs, all kind of stuff. Down for the Count also has a fourth wall page, and there's also merch up there for Down for the Count. Shot glasses, mugs, the whole nine is up there as well. If you want the link to the merch, I will put it in here and you guys can see it as well. All right, now that we're done paying bills, let us do the top commenter of the day. Okay. All right. So Eli is the number one commenter of the day. Then you've got Nika, Pierre, Sasha, Aaliyah, and we have Kayla, of course. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. Love you too. I love all you guys. I know I haven't been here for a week or so, but hey, I had COVID, so I had to try to recover from that. And it was a rough, that was horrible. If I never ever have to get sick again, I would love that, because that was absolutely the hardest thing I've ever had to sit through. And I was feeling bad for weeks. For a whole week, I just felt like shit. I was like, oh no, this is not going to do. This is not going to work, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways, let's get into Monday Night Raw. Okay, let's get into it. So the show came on at regular time, like it always does, and instead of them, kicking it off with CM Punk, they started off with Jey Uso. Jey Uso was very excited, of course, to be in Cleveland, and he obviously wasn't actually in the best of moods due to the fact that last week he had one of the best matches we've seen this year between him and Seth freaking Rollins for that World Heavyweight Championship. And there were at least 3 times during that match that Jey Uso was almost the new World Heavyweight Champion. And you got to say, Jey Uso has earned that moniker of main event Jey Uso. He put on a banger of a match, and he's been a solid competitor from the time he hit that Raw roster until now. He has earned the right to call himself main event Jey Uso, and he has lived up to that moniker every time he sets foot in that ring. Now, Drew McIntyre came out after Jey Uso made his impassioned promo. Drew McIntyre came out and basically said that Jey Uso, all he wanted was an apology. And that's not true. That's not true at all. Because if it were, when Jey Uso first got to the roster and he first was trying to make his way on the roster, he was going to tell you, he came to you as a man and you told him you don't want no apology, you want revenge. I remember, because you're the one who came up to him first. You're the one who started the shit. You're the one who made it very clear you didn't want him to be there. Now you're changing the narrative and saying that all it took was a little apology. All you wanted was an apology. And Jey Uso couldn't take an accountability for that. And then you tried to give Sami Zayn a bullshit apology for your attack on him last week. And here's the thing. It's strange to me that you want Jey Uso to take accountability for the things that he has done, which he has done multiple times. And you want him to be on his hands and knees begging for your forgiveness. That's actually what you're requesting. However, you don't want to take accountability for the things that you've done, like how you lost 3 times to Gunther, trying to take away his championship. You lost to Seth freaking Rollins, trying to take away his championships. It's weird to me that accountability is only a one-way street with you. If you're going to tell people to start taking accountability, then at some point you've got to take accountability for your own shortcomings. For the part that the bloodline played in your demise at Clash at the Castle. I fully understand that. But Jey Uso isn't the only man that is responsible for that, because he wasn't the only one that took away your opportunity to win in front of your friends and family. Jimmy was there, Solo was there. As a matter of fact, it was Solo who ultimately cost you everything. But you seem to be fully targeting Jey Uso and only focusing on Jey Uso, which makes me wonder and question, are you really mad at him or are you jealous of him? Because it comes across as jealousy and not really of you being angry that this man is not taking accountability for costing you opportunities. If you had came to him on some real shit, I'm pretty sure he would have taken the accountability of his actions. And he's done that many times over. There's nothing else that he can do. And it seems like without, if he doesn't come to you specifically and apologize, then you're in your feelings about it. You're mad. And at this point, it's just getting old and it's getting tired. At some point, Drew, you just gotta let it go. And nobody's gonna sit and listen to the same diatribe over and over again. Your version of accountability when it comes to Sami Zayn is lackluster, because Sami didn't say anything any worse than what you've said to him or anybody else. You mentioned his family when you brought up the fact that Jey Uso and Jimmy and Solo and them cost you opportunities and cost him his title. You brought up his family and them then. Nobody said anything to you. Nobody went off on the deep end with you. But because Sammy told the truth, now it's a problem. Now you got to beat him up and tear him down. And then you wait till the man sitting at home and you dig the knife in his back even deeper. It's just really fucked up to me. And that's just not cool. Then today, you had a match with Jay. Y'all seem to be even keel going back and forth. I guess you realized that you couldn't really beat the man upstanding, so you had to use underhanded tactics in order to win the match against Jey Uso. If you are better and you actually believe that you're better than him and you can beat him at any given moment, which you've already beaten him before, then what was the reason? What was the point? It's just you just not worth backing, and it's not worth listening to your bullshit anymore. I'm sad that Jey Uso couldn't beat you today because I feel like he damn sure should have. Um, but you're getting on my nerves. Somebody else who getting on my nerves is Nia Jax. Okay, hold tight. Nia is annoying, and she gets on my nerves because as much potential that Nia Jax has, and as good as fun as she is to watch, she has no real true charisma on the microphone, and she just has no real interesting delivery of her promos. It really irks me when she picks up a mic and she talks. I mean, the only thing she has is the fact that she is truly and honestly of a heel. That's pretty much it. You're like, okay, you're the bad guy. What else is new? There's nothing else to worry about or talk about when it comes to her and her capabilities. Becky is and then in the ring. She's one of the best on the microphone. You're in the ring with her, and the only thing you have to tell her is that without me, you wouldn't be who you are. Without me breaking your face, you wouldn't be nothing. So you're welcome. Okay, bitch. And while you've been gone for the last 2 years, sitting up on your farm sucking cow titty milk, I've been here being champion, running over everybody else. And the only thing that you can say to me is that if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be who you are. That's it. That's all you know how to come with. You've been at home for 2 years, and this is the best you can come up with. You need me. I made you. You need me. All right. If that had been me and I was in the ring, I would have been like, no, I see what this is. You are really, really grasping at straws. It breaks your heart. It tears you apart. That one punch didn't give you the success that you wanted. But I was able to capitalize and turn it into a movement and a phenomenon. It didn't destroy my career or break me down that you punched me in my face. And the point is, I can take a hit. Can you? Can you take a hit to the face? Then get up and become the face of the company? Can you do that? Blood, sweat, and tears? No, I don't think you can do that. It'd be different if when I got punched in the face, that's the only thing people knew me for was the fact that you punched me in my face. But after that little ticky tap you popped off, since you claimed you didn't put all your weight behind it, I was the one who built my brand and built me into something. And even after that, you still couldn't do nothing with what you did. You've been running around telling everybody that this is the hand that built the man. And you can't even do nothing for yourself. But you claiming you created me? Girl, girl, you tried it. The weird thing about it is that Naya could be making a valid point if it was worth listening to. If all you're going to do is regurgitate the same shit for the last 5 years, then why are we here? Why are we here? I'm not finna listen to you with your shiesty ass ponytail and that bust down middle part for the next 3 years. Talk about how you broke Becky's face and made her into a star. Girl, get over it. Find something else to do. Find something else to talk about. You in the ring, and the only thing you can tell Becky is you need this. You really need this. This is all you got. This is your last hoorah. Girl, at best, you're the one who needs Becky Lynch. Cause if it was just you and it was all about you, quite honestly, then you could have won that fatal 5-way your ass was in when you was over in Saudi. You could have won the opportunity to go up against Rhea and beat Rhea if it was that deep for you. But no, you're too busy talking about how many people you done squashed and how you made people. It's strange how you make other people, but you can't build yourself up. That's weird. But do you, babe? Do you? Whatever makes you happy. All I'm going to say is Nia Jax is boring. Her promo skills are whack. And everybody who gets in their feelings because I don't really care for Nia, y'all are weird. Her promo skills are boring. She's boring. She don't even rise to the occasion. I'd rather listen to Chelsea talk the most egregious shit than to listen to Nia Jax on the microphone. I genuinely would, because she's boring. She does nothing for me. Absolutely nothing. And what she did today was just, it was an unnecessary 15 minutes that we could have just gotten 2 or 3 of minutes in backstage instead of us having to suffer through her being on the microphone today, because she was horrible. It's absolutely ridiculous. Let's move into this man. So CM Punk, happy CM Punk, has decided and made his decision as to where he's going to go and which brand he's going to represent. He also made his declaration for the Royal Rumble. This was after this confrontation happened. So today, Adam Pearce presented CM Punk with a contract and with a plan of what he wanted for CM Punk's future on the Raw brand. We all saw Nick Aldis talk to CM Punk last Friday, as well as Shawn Michaels having a moment with CM Punk this past Saturday. CM Punk made his rounds, and he promised that this Monday he was going to make his decision as to which brand he was going to choose to finish out his career, or at least finish out the story. He chose Monday Night Raw, and Seth Rollins came out and made it very clear about how he felt about CM Punk. Seth Rollins said in so many words that he heard everything that CM Punk has said over the last 10 years. He's listened to him slander him, the company he's worked for, his fellow men in the back, this entire industry, and he doesn't like him. And he doesn't like the fact that he's decided to bring his ass back here and then have the audacity to call this place home. A place that Seth felt like he's put all his blood, sweat, and tears into. A place that he basically lives and breathes for every single day. And he gets to just come back without no consequences or nothing, and everything just gets to be fine. He said, no, to put it frank, because I don't want anybody to make any mistakes, I hate you. He said, simple as that. He said, whether you have changed or not, that remains to be seen. But he said, I don't like you, and I don't like what you're talking about, and I don't like the bullshit that you're trying to sell. Well, CM Punk essentially was just like, okay, are you done? He says, now, I don't really care if you like me or not. That makes no never mind to me. He said, I'm not here to make friends. But he says, since, you come out and you want to talk shit and you want to go here, let's make it very plain. He said, Pierce, where you at? He said, come over here. I want you to make something happen. He was like, I'm making it official. I'm declaring and putting my entry in for the Royal Rumble. And when I win, I just might be coming after you, Seth. And then he dropped the mic and he left. Now, Seth was standing there, and of course, he relished in it because Seth loves the competition. He welcomes it. He lives for it. And Seth told him before he did that, he was like, you can't call yourself the best in the world until you prove it. And I've proven myself time and time again to be the best in the world. And until you best me, you'll never be the best in the world. And I was like, well, he kind of got a point there, CM Punk. No shade, but Seth has proven himself to be one of the best wrestlers in the world. CM Punk has been wrestling in AEW. And quite frankly, it's no short of talent in AEW. But AEW was structured and built to look and feel a particular way. In WWE, it's all about the story and how the story progresses. And there's a particular way that you've got to wrestle in order to be seen correctly on TV. I would hope that CM Punk has been spending some time in that PC and relearning how to wrestle on television again, especially for WWE, because this is a different year, this is a different league, this is a different ballpark. And everybody's not waiting around for CM Punk to be the best in the world. You just have to be what you claim to be. It's going to be interesting to see CM Punk's first match back on the Raw brand. We'll have to wait and see how it's going to play out. But I will say this. I do think that the story that's developing between these two is probably going to be one of the most interesting and sought after stories for WrestleMania next year. I believe that CM Punk more than likely is going to win the Royal Rumble this year. And then he's going to go on to challenge Seth and become the number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. You're probably asking, well, how is Cody going to get to WrestleMania? I think Cody's going to end up going to WrestleMania through the Elimination Chamber. That's the way I think it's going to be set up. 3 men from Raw, 3 men from SmackDown, and Cody's probably going to end up winning. Speaking of Cody, he just had a match with Shinsuke Nakamura. And for the most part, the match was okay until we got to the end. Nakamura hit him with his red poison mist. Cody was not paying attention, was not using his head. He just took Nakamura straight up for face value, when in all actuality, he should have been expecting that mist. He should have saw it coming. But fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. He kind of let himself get caught up. And it is what it is, unfortunately. He ended up getting bested by Shinsuke. The match ended in a disqualification, which gave Cody the W. But Shinsuke was able to be the last man standing. The Creed brothers came out for the save, but Shinsuke ultimately ended up hitting him with the Kinshasa again on the outside of the ring as they were trying to get Cody to the back to flush out his eyes from the red mist. And that's how it went off. Cody's laid out. The Creed brothers are chastising Shinsuke, and Shinsuke's basking in his own ambiance on Monday Night Raw. The mid-card stuff that happened, Imperium went up against DIY and The Miz. Now, you know, Miz is from Cleveland, as is Gargano. And for them to get a W over Imperium, that was a big win for them. The Miz went in the back and demanded another Intercontinental Championship match against Gunther, to which Gunther agreed. But if The Miz loses, he can never challenge for the Intercontinental Championship again as long as Gunther is the champion. All right? Now, we also had some women's matches. Kaden and Katana went up against Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. I didn't really like that match too much. I felt like that match was a little bit wonky, and not necessarily on Candice and Indy's part. It was more on Kaden and Katana. Something about them was a little off when it came to Candice and Indy. They weren't set all the way. There was just some pieces of that match that just didn't fit and feel right. However, their win over Candice and Indy, and of course over Natalya and Tegan, has led them to become the number one contender for the tag team match, for the tag team championships for the women, which Piper and Chelsea will defend next week. Sorry about that. And they're going to defend them against Katana and Kaden. Now, as a tag team, Katana and Kaden are fun to watch in the ring. They really do have a nice move set between the two of them, and they really work well together in that ring, and their move sets are really interesting and cool to watch. I don't know if they're going to beat Chelsea and Piper, but I know that they'll put on a good match between the two of them. Now, Bronson and Ivar had a match today. I genuinely wasn't interested in Bronson and Ivar, but they did put on a decent match. Ultimately, Bronson fell into a pin over Ivar, and that's how Bronson won. But they beat the hell out of each other in this particular match, and it was okay to watch. I'm not gonna lie. Um, who else had a match today? I think that's it. Did I get anybody else? Did I miss anybody else? Oh, okay. So the only thing else I missed was Judgment Day. Oh, Rhea had a match with Maxine today. So Maxine had a match with Rhea. Everybody's mad because Dom lost his title, which fucking finally. And Rhea is like, everybody's thinking they could just bowl over us and we need to prove who we are. And I was like, girl, we forgot y'all existed. And that's just true tea. Completely forgot you was there, forgot you existed, didn't care, still don't care that you here. Um, completely forgot you was even there. Honestly, completely forgot about Judgment Day. Don't care about Judgment Day, and I need for Judgment Day to go on somewhere. That's just me personally. Because we got enough big bad villains in Drew McIntyre, Shinsuke Nakamura, and if they do it right, Seth can be a good villain as a champ. Um, you got enough in Imperium and Gunther. They don't need you. They don't need y'all. Um, they went out there and was talking about everybody on notice, and then it's just like y'all got a real desperate attempt to try to keep everybody on their pins and needles about y'all, and we just don't give a fuck. We don't care about y'all. They went out there and Truth went out there. Truth went out there and was talking shit and was telling them like, hey, I'm trying to decorate the clubhouse and y'all done locked the front and the back door. He was being hilarious and I love Truth. But Damien ended up beating him up and so did the rest of Judgment Day. And that's when the Creed brothers came down to help. They ended up helping and taking down Judgment Day, and they decided to have the match next week. I thought they were having the tag team match this week, but they ended up having it. They're gonna have it next week instead. Um, Maxine went up against Rhea. That match was a little wonky as well. I wasn't a fan of that match either. And again, it wasn't really on Maxine. Maxine was doing what she was supposed to do, but Rhea, I don't know. Something was off with Rhea, and there was something off in that match too. The women's matches were just off today. There was something that wasn't right. Somebody wasn't hitting their cues right. Either the chemistry was off. It was just off this week, and I was just like, I'm not feeling this match. I'm not feeling this at all. And it wasn't that Maxine didn't do a good job. She did. It was just, I don't know. Rhea, it was almost like Rhea didn't want to sell the moves, you know? Then she wasn't hitting them like she was supposed to. Something was just off. It was just off, y'all. And I just didn't like it. I wasn't a fan. I was like, ugh. I almost wish they didn't have the match, if I'm being honest. but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Overall, if I had to give Raw a rating, quality wise, I'll say it was a solid 6.8 out of 10. I think they did the right thing by putting Punk in the middle of the show and not having him close out again. I think having Shinsuke and Cody close out the show was pretty smart, in my opinion. It was really smart to have Drew and Jay open the show and get them out the way. Hopefully, eventually, they'll move on from this because I'm getting really tired of Drew and Jay. And Jay, I feel like Jay needs something else since they're not going to give him the World Heavyweight Championship. I would love to see him go after Gunther's title and take that title off of Gunther and get the IC Championship. That'd be dope. Um, so I'm not sure of what they're going to do, but I'm curious as to how a lot of these stories are going to play out. I see Shinsuke and oh god, I can't think. Cold brain. Cody fighting it out, but they're probably not going to go past a couple more weeks. I don't see that feud between the two of them continuing past Royal Rumble. Um Bronson Reed and Ivar, I feel like they're either gonna they gotta let that end somewhere. I would put them in a steel cage and let them battle it out in the cage and let that be the final blows between the two of them. Obviously, you're gonna see Seth and CM Punk cross paths at some point. They've already crossed paths now. They're gonna end up crossing paths again. And then, of course, they got to figure out some kind of way to dismantle Judgment Day. Because at this point, it's unnecessary for them to be where they are. We don't need to see Judgment Day. I need them to drop those titles to the Creed brothers next week. I feel like you already done pulled the trigger with Dom. You need to continue to drop everything. Everybody needs to drop their titles with the exception of Rhea. She's the only one that I would suspect needs to stay champion. She's the only one. The only one. So that's just me. The tag team titles for the women, I'm not really like in desperate need of Piper or Chelsea to drop those titles to Kaden and Katana. If they get the titles, great for them. I'm not mad at them. Live your best life. But if they don't, I'm not going to be mad about that either. You know what I'm saying? So next week, this is going to happen, and they're also going to have the Undisputed Tag Team Championship match. The Creed brothers are going to be going up against the Judgment Days, Finn Balor, and Damian Priest. All right. Sir. Yeah. Now, this coming Tuesday is NXT. Now, I did watch Deadline. I did not get to do a full recap of Deadline, and that is because I am still sick. I was sick, am sick. Okay. So I did watch it. I did enjoy Deadline. I thought Deadline was a really good show. I wasn't the biggest fan of Dragunov and Corbin's match, but that doesn't mean that they didn't do a good job in the match. They did. It just I just I'm just not a big fan of Baron Corbin and his matches. So, in my opinion, that was not my favorite match of the night. Deadline's my favorite match for Deadline. Honestly, I loved the men's Iron Survivor Challenge. The men always have a better aggression in their match. It's always fun in their match. There's so much going on. And you looking at it, the guys utilize that penalty box to the best of their ability. And I love that. I'm like, I hate when it be people in the penalty box and they not fighting in the penalty box. Like, what are you doing? Why are you you supposed to be trying to get a leg up at any given point? Like, the only time the girls fought is when Noam Dar and them tried to keep them in the box and they climbed out. And then Tiffany pushed Fallon on the table. The only thing I hated about the women's Iron Survivor was I wish Kaylani would have at least gotten one pinfall. I love the fact that Lash looked strong. She was booked strong in that match. That girl came in there out the gate and had 2 points. She was not playing. She did exceptionally well in that match, and we love that for Lash. Am I excited for fucking Blair? No, Blair is boring. Y'all can pop for Blair all you want to, but Blair is boring. She is boring, Huey. Can she wrestle? Yes. One of the best female wrestlers on the roster. I'll never take that from her. But she does not give you anything worthwhile. She talks the same shit. She gives very much Nia Jax style promos. I don't care about anybody. I don't care about you. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to be the champ. You all are beneath me, blah, blah, blah. Same bullshit, different toilet. She just white and her lips look like a butthole. So that's the only difference between her and fucking Nia Jax. So I just don't like her. I don't care for her. I don't care that she won. I kind of saw it coming. If it wasn't gonna be her, I was praying they didn't give it to Stratton. Because as much as I do enjoy like watching Tiffany wrestle, I can't stand Tiffany on the microphone either. And she doesn't need it. I was like, I know they wasn't going to give it to another face because last year a face won. So I was fine with that. But then you got Lyra came out after Blair won. And then here come fuck ass Cora. And I was like, why didn't they have her re-debut on Tuesday? That way, when Lyra or whenever because Lyra and Blair are gonna fight at New Year's Evil. So that's when they're gonna compete. That's when Blair is gonna have her moment, which leads me to believe that she's not gonna win this championship either. And I hate when they kind of supersede somebody else's moment with somebody else. They cut Blair ass deep by bringing out fuck ass Cora. And I was just like, what is going on? Like, why would you bring her for what? And then she got to have her moment backstage with CM Punk because he's one of her favorites next to his wife, AJ Lee, which I'm happy for her. You got to meet your hero, somebody you've admired and loved for a long time. You got to see him again. You already spoke to him once, but you finally get to meet him. So good for you. But it just seemed, storyline wise, looking at it, it just cut Blair's ass completely off. And it makes Blair be very irrelevant going up against Lyra at New Year's Evil when you got Cora attacking Lyra. It just seems like a lot. You know what I'm saying? Now, that's just me. I probably would have booked it so that Cora came out at New Year's Evil rather than her coming out during Deadline. But that would have been the way I would have done it. Fallon did great in this match. I was glad that she was there. She did an excellent job. I was happy for Fallon. And I was like, finally, Fallon is getting some shine. But that men's Deadline match, that men's match for that Iron Survivor, that shit took me out. Okay, because I was like, Trick ain't got no pinfalls. We down to the last couple of minutes. Brian Breaker done came in and got 3 right out the gate. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then at the end, Trick Williams was able to pull out, get 3, and then get a quick one at the end on Brian. It was so well done. And I have to say that that match was booked perfectly. It made Trick look like the underdog, and ultimately he came out and was able to get the win. And it was so fucking satisfying. It was so satisfying. Oh my God. It was so satisfying. I kid you not. The way that audience reacted, everybody was stoked for Trick Williams. I can't say nothing, but I was so happy for him. I loved the I was glad that they got Dom and Dragon Lee's match out the way early. I'm sad it had a little bit of a dark cloud over that match because Wes was injured and couldn't compete. And I hate that he wasn't able to compete and get his title back. Because that I feel like that just would have been a moment for Wes, and it just would have been a moment period for him to get his title back. But they switched it up and doubled back to Dragon Lee, gave Dragon Lee the championship. So shout out to Dragon Lee. He's champ now. And we love that for Dragon Lee. We love that for him. I wasn't really invested in Roxanne and Kiana's match either. I kind of figured where it was going. I saw Izzy interfering in that match the very first time that Roxanne was in the back talking about Kiana and costing Kiana the opportunity in the Iron Survivor. I knew then that Izzy was going to involve herself in that match with Roxanne and Kiana. So I wasn't invested because I kind of figured where it was going to go. There wasn't really much to watch. Roxanne had already beaten Kiana at the Devil's Playground match that they had. So it was only fair that Kiana was gonna win and beat Roxanne in this cage match. I wasn't invested and I didn't care. Izzy helped her win. She got the win. So I guess now that makes her better than Roxanne. It still means that you are still behind because you haven't been champion like Roxanne has. The only time you were champion was a tag team. You didn't win the Iron Survivor Challenge match. You don't have any of the accolades that Roxanne has. You and her are on the 2 different wavelengths. So if you measure your success by Roxanne's, you're still behind. If not, then move on and find something else to fixate on. I'm pretty sure Izzy's gonna be running around with fuck ass Kiana from now on, which live your best life if that's what you want to do. And then we saw the match between Mello and Lexis King. So Lexis got beat by Carmelo, and he basically was in the ring and he admitted that he did not attack Trick Williams. And Trick Williams believes that, Lexis attacked him. He was just like, nope, it wasn't me. But I appreciate you giving me the match, the main event match, and the one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. So basically Lexis admitted that he just involved himself in this so that he can have a big moniker match on the PLE. He didn't have nothing to do with the attack on Trick Williams. So now the question is, did Carmelo attack Trick Williams or not? And I'm starting to believe that he actually did attack the man. The way Carmelo's been behaving and acting as of lately, he's being very shifty. So while Carmelo, has proved his point, as he put it, there's still the lingering question of who attacked Trick Williams. Now, Trick Williams is on a path to possibly become the next NXT champion. He is the next guy to challenge Ilya Dragunov for that championship. If you notice, when Ilya beat Baron, Trick came out there. They've had a match before, and Trick Williams almost beat Dragunov before. So it's not that Trick can't beat Dragunov. the question that you have to ask is, do you think he will? And do you think that Carmelo's going to allow that to happen? Because Carmelo beat Dragunov once, and it was because of Trick Williams aiding and embedding. But do you think he's going to allow Trick Williams to beat Dragunov and become NXT champion? I don't think so. In fact, I think once they have this match at New Year's Evil, Carmelo's real colors are going to show. Now, Carmelo Hayes is also a part of the United States Championship tournament. He is going to challenge Grayson Waller this coming Friday on SmackDown for his opportunity to go after the title that Logan Paul is carrying. So you got a lot going on and a lot being built with Trick Williams and Carmelo. Then you got Carmelo possibly moving to the main roster with this opportunity for the United States Championship. I'd watch Melo and Paul go at it for that title. I think that'd be a solid match. Storyline wise, though, I probably would put that match with Kevin and Logan Paul, and then have Paul drop that title back to Kevin, and then have Kevin have the title for a little while and have him drop it to somebody. But that's just me in my booking. Logan Paul to me is not somebody that I would make be champion, mainly because he's not going to be around long enough to maintain it as a champion. And I don't like when guys like Logan Paul or Tyson Fury or anybody like that gets a title, mainly because they can't commit to being the champion the way somebody like Seth, Chelsea and Piper, Gunther, even Roman would be champion. They can't commit to it. So I don't like that. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, y'all, that's all we got. We ain't got no more. This coming Friday is the finishing out of the tournament. I think it's the semifinals of the tournament, and then they'll finally determine the final two per each side for the tournament. We'll have to wait and see how that's going to play out. We already know that Bobby Lashley is going to go up against Escobar Santos, and then we'll see who's going to go up against after Santos and Lashley battle it out. We'll see who's going to go up against them after we see Kevin and Theory go at it, and then we'll see Waller and Hayes go at it this coming Friday. All right, so y'all, that is it. That's all I got. I can't talk no more. I'm losing my voice. My throat's hurting. I got to take some medicine and try and sleep this damn cold off for the next couple of hours. Plus, my birthday is in about 4 minutes. So happy birthday to me. I'll be back live tomorrow to talk about NXT. We will go over everything. I know I didn't put everybody's comments in because I was trying to talk and get it out. So I apologize for that. But I love y'all and I appreciate y'all, and thank y'all for all of the love and the prayers y'all was giving, because I was down bad. I was not feeling my best, but I feel much better. I'm feeling better every day. I sound better according to my mom and everybody. This cold is finally dissipating. I can eat regular fucking food. I'm not stuck eating goddamn soup. I can't wait. My brother's going to make that buffalo chicken dip for me. It's my favorite, and I love when he makes it because it be so good. If you want to help me celebrate my birthday, you definitely can. My Cash App is down here, scrolling across the bottom. Okay. You can always take advantage of the super chat. The super chat is here. All right. You can also become a citizen of the United States of Tiffany. Okay. That's how you join and become a member. There are some lives that I have put on the members only. I'm going to start locking some of these lives down and making them so that they're members only. That way you guys can go back and watch them whenever you want. And when I get up to 10 members, every week I will do one members only live, and you guys can be a part of that, and we'll talk and shoot the shit. And that'd be stuff that only the members will be able to to listen to and be a part of. If you become a member of the channel, there's exclusive membership discounts that you can utilize. And get merch with and all other kinds of stuff. So make sure you guys follow my page. I'm going to go live again tomorrow, and I will post the link for Fourth Wall and have all the videos and stuff up for the merchandise tomorrow once I go live again. I appreciate y'all being here. I really do. I know that I've been talking a lot and rambling, but I haven't been able to say anything about wrestling for a whole fucking week. So I needed to get it out. With all that being said, please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, okay? It is important. It really helps my channel, and it also helps me get seen. It boosts up everything, and I need that so that I can start making money off my channel and focusing more specifically on the channel itself. Next year, we're going to have some new stuff coming, some actual edited videos coming up that I'm going to post once a week. I think I'll post those on Thursday, so I'll have something going every day. But I appreciate y'all for coming in. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you guys in my next one. All right. I love y'all to pieces. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Thank y'all so much for being here, and I appreciate every single one of you guys for being a part of my show. Please be sure to check out my wrestling podcast, Down for the Count, with my girls, and of course, the personal podcast with the entertainment, pop culture, and news of the KTT podcast. Like I said before, we have pop culture that we just love to talk about. Okay, pop culture includes any and all celebrity news. I have the Red Rum True Crime series where I talk about all of the stories in the news that have to do with murder and anything very, very high profile in terms of murder. And of course, we have Am I the Asshole Fridays and Twitter stories. That includes my personal recap of the SBC chat and of course, some Reddit Am I the Asshole stories that need my advice, honey, because I just love to talk. So, if you love me, please do me a favor, run on over there